Hello and welcome to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we discuss DVDs, Blu-rays, and even the occasional VHS tape. I'm your host, Tal, and who's with me here today?
Well, it ain't fucking Frosty. Welcome to the first excuse episode of Too Many Movies, where one of the movies is only here because we needed an excuse to talk about the other things, and he didn't own either of them.
Oh, this is not the first excuse episode. Maybe this is the first excuse episode with you, sure. But yes, okay, fair enough. Do we just want to get into Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer then?
Yeah, the one that I only partially watched before this because I saw it like 20 billion times growing up.
Come on, it's a funny movie. It's Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
The dog's name is Doofus.
Yeah, that was weird. I noticed that this time around. I'm like, well, wait a minute. You called your dog Doofus?
Why is it in the police handbook that Santa Claus isn't real?
When, in all actuality, he is real. See, that is something I've never gotten about Christmas specials like this, where they're just like, oh, is Santa Claus real? Is he not real? And then he is real, but there's people who don't believe in him. It's like...
Well, for this example, it's twofold, because it's on the one hand... So why does that have to be in the manual? Have there been Santa Claus incidents in the past?
Because they have the 1225 and the 1224. They have specific code numbers for these situations.
It's like, sorry kids, it's right here in the manual. Santa Claus isn't real. Why is that in the manual? Did fucking Silent Night, Deadly Night happen in this universe?
I would love if that was real.
And then it's like, with anything where it's like, whether or not Santa Claus is real, and then it turns out in the end he is, it's the logic of, so then, who the hell bought the presents? Are parents just buying presents and then just not noticing there's like twice as many the next morning?
It really just annoys the hell out of me. That was something that's always annoyed me with these fucking Is Santa Claus Real Christmas specials.
Either make him just everyone knows he's real, or it just isn't real. Pick one.
Yeah, we've never seen that actually, a Christmas special that says Santa Claus isn't real. I feel like that would be sacrilegious, but
apparently
I'd love to see
Diary
that.
of a Wimpy Kid Christmas special does that.
Does it? Oh, that's funny.
I heard there was controversy when that came out last year about how Santa Claus wasn't real and kids found out that way.
Wow.
Imagine Greg Heffley is the reason you found out Santa Claus isn't real.
Further feeds
better
into the...
or worse than the weighing Gremlins?
That's a toughie because, well, no, it's funnier than the one in Gremlins. The one in Gremlins is horrific. Well, it's horrific to the point that it is funny, but I feel like
it's funny in the grounds of why the fuck is this in the movie? It's a dark joke,
right?
Basically,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Just Diary of a Wimpy Kid just is the funniest thing to me. So maybe that is funnier. But yeah.
He gets the cheese touch from those popcorn snowballs.
Yeah. What were those things? The popcorn snowballs?
Cheddar. I don't know, but probably white cheddars on them.
I guess so. Yeah, I never... That was one of those Christmas decorations I saw in Christmas media that I was like, I don't know what that is. Is that a thing?
I mean, I've seen them as snacks. I don't get the whole hanging popcorn up on like a banner. That's weird.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. What is that?
I don't know.
There's some Christmas traditions where I'm like, I don't understand this at all.
I would rather eat the popcorn.
Right, exactly. Why would you use it to decorate around your house?
Have you ever had fruitcake?
No, I haven't actually.
Neither have I, and it's like the bit is always that it tastes terrible, but like, or is like hard as a rock, but it's like, I don't know, it just looks like a pound cake with chunks of fruit in it.
Right, exactly.
What the fuck is the problem?
I know.
And it's like, kids shows and media are always like weird with certain like foods and stuff because it's like broccoli. Like broccoli had like the worst reputation in cartoons growing up, and then I actually had broccoli for real, and it's like, this is like one of the best vegetables. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's not even that bad. Yeah, if you don't know how to season broccoli, I guess it's, bland tasting, but also who cares?
Well, it's like just put cheese on it at that point and it's fine.
Right, exactly. But look, you know what's worse is spinach. Spinach in its raw sense is fucking dog shit. It's not good. I hate using it. Sautéing spinach, that's delicious.
Yeah, it's all you use, and it's like spinach is also like it's very similar enough to lettuce that it's like I just don't care.
Right, but at that point, I'd rather use lettuce.
Yes, like I wouldn't get spinach instead of lettuce, but like if the spinach on something, like that's fine.
Yeah, I mean I'll still eat it. I'm just saying, I would say objectively speaking, spinach would be worse than broccoli because broccoli, you get a little bit more out of that.
Yeah, like the only positive depiction of fruitcake I've ever seen is Grandma got run over by a reindeer. It's like she owns a thing. It's like they give it to the court at the end of the thing, and it's like they love it, but then they have the perfume one. And it's like fuck.
What was that?
Maybe that's
Was that perfume? What was that Cousin Mel put into the
oh, it was like the fucking reindeer thing or something.
Yeah, it's like reindeer nip or something. Oh, yeah, it's never really made explicitly clear what she is putting in the fruitcake mixture at the beginning.
It's like, is reindeer nip a thing that just exists?
Yeah, because she's treating it like she's putting poison in the mixture to just be like, oh, when Grandma sells these fruitcakes, the people get sick from it and they won't give her business, and then she'll have to sell her business to me. Which, first of all, okay, that's your plan. You're gonna take on a failing business.
You're gonna kill people.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
It's like the logic of, you know what reindeer really love? Cyanide. Can't get enough of that shit.
I guess so, yeah. So kids, when you leave reindeer food out for Santa later in the month, make sure you give them cyanide.
Yeah, the rat poison really brings them to my yard.
It's very sweet tasting.
It tastes very sweet for 5 seconds.
It's true.
And then you won't taste anything
Mm-hmm.
again.
Well, that's how you get thin.
I mean, yeah, eventually it does decay to be thin, yeah. You do lose a lot of fat when you die. Also lose everything else.
I'll be so bony thin.
Okay, so I guess we do want to go over like the general plot of Grandma real quick.
Yeah.
Cousin Mel wants more money because they're not making enough money, I guess, even though I guess they're like making enough to get by comfortably.
Yeah, they don't seem to be struggling. Like, they live in a big house.
Really, if anything, just franchise the fruitcakes and sell them across. Just make it like a mass-produced item.
Well, that's literally what they do at the end. Like, that's literally what... So Austin Bucks... Yeah, so Cousin Mel's plan is to sell it to Austin Bucks, but then the compromise they come up with at the end is Cousin Mel gets arrested, and Austin Bucks is like, Grandma, I don't want to buy your store. I want to franchise it. It's like, that okay.
It's like, why is that not the first thing you do in all actuality?
Yeah.
It just help benefits everybody.
Right, exactly. But isn't that the same thing? Only an inexperienced old woman is now at the top and not this experienced businessman. It's like,
I mean, I feel like the businessman is still also, at that point, they're partners, probably.
Right. But also,
which is the best case scenario.
Right, okay, yeah, but also, how old is Grandma?
I mean, Jake's right there.
Right.
I mean, it's essentially like the entire family basically works at the store.
Right, yeah, because it's the mom, the dad. The mom and dad work at the store. I don't know what Cousin Mel does, but...
And then, like, the kids at least help out, even though they don't officially work there, they help.
Right.
So it's like, the whole family's involved. It's like, I guess Grandma and Grandpa are dead. It just goes to the mom and dad, and then Jake and the sister just inherit it later.
Right, and then it goes on and goes on from there.
But it's like, why would you want to sell the store to make the money? Because, like, wouldn't it be more beneficial to do a partnership anyway so that you can make more money and keep the store so you get revenue from both instead of just the one-time flat purchase?
All right, so maybe in the grand scheme of things, Grandma made the right choice. So Cousin Mel was just the problem the whole time.
Cousin Mel had very short-sighted vision.
Right. That's why she's the villain.
It's like, yeah, we get millions of dollars now, but, like, if you mass produce the fruitcakes and sell them everywhere, you still get the revenue from the store and also from that making more millions.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So in the grand scheme of things, yeah, so that's smart business. All right, so you know what?
Then you have like then you get the landmark original store right there in Cityville that's like has even better versions. Now you're also a tourist attraction. We should run the store.
Yeah, exactly. We're smarter business people, and I don't even have a business degree.
I don't think Phil Roman knows how to run a business.
But he knows how to direct a Charlie Brown short, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, he did like Race for Life Charlie Brown, right?
Yeah, he did a couple of things besides...
And Garfield.
Yes.
He doesn't know fruitcake, but he knows lasagna.
Yes. Oh, wait, bad news. He also directed the Tom and Jerry movie.
I feel like we brought this up earlier in the year when we watched Tom and Jerry.
We probably did. I probably brought it up in the episode.
Didn't we do that? Didn't we watch that back in January?
We watched it back in January because that's when I did the episode on it. Yeah.
So like we were like it was very fresh in our heads still because it was like a month later.
Yeah, and I probably brought it up during the Charlie Brown Valentine's episode because again he directed that too.
Boy, the whole year has been leading up to this moment, hasn't it?
Yeah, we've been watching all of Phil Roman's filmography leading
The
up
whole
to
year has
this.
been leading up to this one movie that we're only watching as an excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
So Cozumel wants to sell the sword to the richest man in the city,
Mm-hmm.
who dresses up as a funny troll.
Yeah, I still don't understand that.
Because like Grandma's dressed as an elf, so he wants to like get in the spirit with her
Right.
to help do the pitch. Which like, why is this like the only good businessman?
Yeah.
It's like the big billionaire is not actually the villain. He's like on Jake's side, basically. It's like,
it's a really weird subversion. In any other media, he would be the villain, but no, he's pretty level-headed the whole time. It's pretty good subversion, I must say. Good job, Phil.
It's like he's just like logical, like, okay, Cozumel, if you think this will make a lot of money, we'll do that. Oh, what Jake is positioning that this is a crime, probably shouldn't do that. Oh, and you know what? We'd also get more things, more money if we partner with Grandma. So yeah, we'll just work with Grandma.
Yeah. Oh, and when Santa shows up and says he's Santa, he's just like, I don't believe you. But then he gives logical evidence that he's Santa, and he goes, oh, you are Santa. It's like, wow.
I guess it's real. Cool. The fucking nicest businessman in the world.
And he's a cartoon character who's not real.
Yeah, that's the bit. Good billionaires aren't real. Only Cozumel was real, and it's probably like a bunch of people that look like Cozumel.
Yeah,
and probably act like that too.
They probably.
Maybe I don't want Cozumel to be real.
No, of course not. No. If you knew Cozumel in real life, you would hate her because she's not a good person. She's hot, but she's not a good person.
She doesn't actually want a relationship. She just wants money.
Yeah, exactly. She's a gold digger.
She was in Paris.
No. Well, she might. She seems like someone who would want to be in Paris.
She said she wanted to travel to Italy.
Italy, of course. Of course.
Yeah. She wants to go to Naples to go to the oldest pizza place. Let me look up. I was looking it up earlier. What the fucking oldest pizza place is? Antica Pizzeria Porta Alba.
Say that again.
Antica Pizzeria Porta Alba.
Okay, yeah.
It's arguably the world's first pizzeria. And then there's pizza. Fucking, I'll add this up to Pizza Brandi is the birthplace of the margherita.
Margherita pizza, very cool.
Then there's the one from Eat, Pray, Love, which is also old but not the oldest.
Right.
Which is Pizzeria. Which is.
Well, when we say oldest, like when did these places open?
Like 1700s around there.
Yeah, it's okay, so that is old.
The one from Eat, Pray, Love is L'Antica Pizzeria de Michele in Naples, which is nearby the others. But it's not the oldest. This is one of the oldest.
Right.
So that's why she wants to go there. She wants to get the margherita from Pizza Brandi.
I mean, what woman wouldn't?
Hey, women listening to this, do you want to get the margherita from Pizza Brandi? They're not saying anything, Hal.
Of course not. Implying that women listen to this podcast?
The women who have been on the podcast listen to the podcast.
Probably.
One of us is going to get a message from one of them in a couple of days saying, actually, I do want to go with the Pizza Brandi. I'm not saying any names because I don't want to be wrong about which one it is.
Right. Speaking of women, Cousin Mel, Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
In her attorney, I am slime.
You said it, not me.
So Grandma gets run over by the reindeer because she put something in the fruitcake that attracted the reindeer accidentally.
Right.
And then Grandma goes missing for a fucking year.
The police were searching and searching.
And then we time skip to fucking September.
Yeah.
So most of this Christmas special takes place in September.
Yeah, isn't that bizarre? That's bizarre.
Say, do you remember?
The 21st night of September? I do.
Yeah, we found Grandma.
Oh, good.
So so a year passes, and then Old Man Elf shows up to Jake's house like, hey, you. And then they both go to the North Pole together to confirm that it's Grandma, and she has amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
And Cozumel almost is succeeding in getting the rights to the sword from Grandpa because he has dementia, and she tricks him.
Dementia?
I know her, I think.
Uh,
It's like fucking Austin Bucks hears Cozumel basically planning a crime, and he's like, and that it looks like he's iffy, but like, money.
yeah. Just the most morally righteous billionaire character we've ever seen. He's still a little sketch.
Still, because like, still wants money, but like the moment it's like the Santa Claus is real, it's like, oh, well, I guess the kid was right.
Yeah.
I don't feel like going to prison, so like, yeah, let's just keep the store of grandma. We'll make a deal later. Austin Bucks could probably beat Elon in a fight.
I mean, yes, I believe that 100%.
There's like the bit where Elon Musk apparently wants to try to buy Hasbro, which he absolutely does not have the liquid to even do. And I don't think Hasbro wants to sell.
No.
Because he just wants to get the rights to D&D. And it's like, why does Elon want D&D? He doesn't have any friends to play it with.
Yeah, he barely got by buying Twitter as a joke. I cannot imagine him being able to buy anything beyond that,
It's like Hasbro's not doing great, but like D&D and Magic make so much money.
Right.
And it's like they would make so much more money just like licensing those properties out to people. Like Baldur's Gate 3 had to make so much money last year. Magic just prints money because like they just make, and there's like a new set every other month, and with all the fucking IP stuff they're doing, you want to buy the SpongeBob cards next month?
Do I ever?
That's not a joke. They're actually fucking doing it.
No, listen. You say some pretty outlandish stuff, but after Felix the Cat Saves Christmas, I think I'm willing to believe anything you say.
Yeah, Felix the Cat Saves Christmas wasn't good. Anyway. Damn, controversial opinion that we knew was true before we even watched it.
But we had to be sure. And let me just say, Dave Coulier, not my Felix the Cat.
I want to watch the 50s cartoon again. It was better.
I'd like to check out more Felix the Cat stuff.
Probably better.
Yeah.
I've seen it since I was like 7, but it was probably better.
I like old cartoons. I'd be willing to watch the 1950s Felix the Cat.
I just noticed I have a message from Jensen. What's that about?
Yeah, read it on air.
Oh, it's just, I think it's the video of the Godzilla skin in Fortnite.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. He hitting the gritty.
Good for Zilla.
Neat. Anyway.
Well, William, did we get any conclusion on Grandma got run over by a reindeer?
So they find Grandma. She has
Grandma.
amnesia. They bring her back. I guess she remembers eventually.
No,
I forget what makes her.
No, she doesn't remember yet. They bring her back. They're gonna go and confront Austin Bucks, being like, "Hey, we found Grandma," but she gets car sick on the sled and just stays there. And so Jake and Santa Claus go up to see Austin Bucks, and
then Cozumel kidnaps
her. So she's gone again. She's missing again, and they arrest Santa for conspiracy. And so then Santa's being tried in court, and the rest of the movie is just a court drama.
I mean, isn't Miracle on 34th Street also a court drama?
Right, but
I haven't seen that movie yet.
It's been a couple of years since I've seen Miracle on 34th Street. I don't remember much.
I got a copy from Five Below 3 years ago now, and I still haven't actually taken it out of the shrink wrap.
Right, yeah.
Lamal.
We have a problem.
Do that this year. Do a double feature with the Mara Wilson version.
Yeah, I've never seen the Mara Wilson version. I have seen the 30s version. I don't remember being that blown away by it, but I mean, maybe it's different if I watch it again.
I mean, by that point, you've also seen It's a Wonderful Life, so
which is the better movie. Yeah.
Yeah, that's just one of the best ones generally.
It is, yes.
So Grandma gets kidnapped again.
Again.
And then they show her fruitcake and she remembers herself, I think.
She eats the fruitcake. Yeah, so Jake and her make 2 fruitcakes, one without the poison / reindeer nip, one with. And she eats her recipe fruitcake, and she all of a sudden remembers everything.
So then they go to the court case to prove Santa's innocence, and then Cozumel gets arrested for everything.
Yes, because it's revealed she did everything, yes. Even though I don't think that's how court cases work. You can't just have a new person accused.
Right, just
Yeah, it doesn't
move
matter.
things along.
It
Just
move-
hurry it along.
I know,
We
I
know
know.
she already confessed.
It's
So it's like,
it's a kids movie. It's like we don't really care. I get it.
yeah, we don't need to extend it by 15 minutes just to like hold another court case where we already know she did it because she already confessed.
Yeah. This is Hollywood, man. This is not how courts work in real life.
Movie ends in 5 minutes. Hurry along.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, as a joke, she gets run over again, but it's okay this time.
I guess so. Yeah.
And now everyone knows that Santa Claus. Remember when Austin Bucks wanted to build robot reindeer?
Yeah, that didn't go anywhere, did it?
How would that even work? Badly.
The Futurama episode where there's Robot Santa.
Well, I'll tell you this: the special came out in 2000.
Where are you going with this?
And we picked back up 1 year later in September.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
I know where the reindeer went,
Mr. President.
Mr. President. A second reindeer has hit the South Tower.
I can't believe it's taken me this long to make that connection. Oh, mama.
Killing a man.
Yeah.
That was a Bohemian Rhapsody reference. Haha, laugh.
Listen, I've listened to Queen. I know where you were going with that.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
It is the Christmas special of all time.
I get some enjoyment out of it. It's pretty funny.
I have Stockholm Syndrome from watching it all these years as a kid.
Yeah, thinking about it, I think I did watch this on Cartoon Network a couple of times growing up. Not very often, but I think if I did watch it as a kid, it most certainly was on Cartoon Network.
You know, Grandma's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. No, she didn't.
No, he didn't. But it made for a pretty funny song.
So that's that. Are you gonna keep the DVD?
Yes, absolutely. I'm keeping the DVD. Okay, fine. We can move on to the movie.
What bonus features are on that thing?
Oh, there's Grandma's Guessing Game and Costume Gallery, songwriter bio. That's right, because this is based off of the song "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer" by Elmo Shropshire.
Yeah,
aka Dr. Elmo. This is clearly the only song he's ever made in his life, because I mean, have you ever heard of a different Elmo Shropshire song?
I think like he just made well with the royalties off this.
Right, exactly, because it's a very popular song, which I didn't even really listen to it that often growing up. I knew of the song, and then I knew of the special. I think I knew of the special before I knew of the song.
It just kind of plays on the radio every now and then, and that's it.
Right, whenever they play Christmas music. But I feel like there are other Christmas carols I listen to far more often than Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Yeah, like the one from Gremlins.
Right, exactly. But anyway, yes, I'm keeping this DVD because this movie is epic. But we have two other movies that are far more important to talk about today, so let's get into those.
You know, the actual thing we wanted to talk about in the first place.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
We watched Jack Frost and Jack Frost.
So which Jack Frost do you want to talk about? Jack Frost or Jack Frost?
I want to talk about Jack Frost.
Okay, let's talk about Jack Frost.
We'll do the 97 film first because chronological order for the audience.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. You know, there's like that, the whole joke is that because there are two movies called Jack Frost that are really so close together about a snowman that it was like, you always see the stories about parents renting the horror movie for their kids instead by mistake. And like, I see that. Now actually watching both of them, I actually don't know if I believe that.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what 14-year-old would rather watch the Michael Keaton movie over the movie where you get to see Shannon Elizabeth Strack.
Yeah. Like, if let's say for the sake of argument, the 1979 Rankin Bass Jack Frost was the one they were talking about, then I'd get it. But like, yeah, comparing the two movies, I can't imagine any child would want to watch the Michael Keaton one.
I mean, I guess it's also a matter of what was the trailer like.
Right. I remember the trailer for the Keaton one far more often. I mean, I didn't even know the 97 one existed until I watched it in 2020.
Like, does it like try to advertise as more of a comedy, or is it still more of a drama?
It was definitely more of a comedy. I remember there being Like the clips I can remember clear as day in my mind is when Michael Keaton, Jack Frost, is looking through the window and the kid screams, and then the scene when he goes between the trees and he just goes, "Hey, I slimmed down" or something like that.
So they advertise all the snowman stuff that doesn't happen until halfway through the movie. Got it.
Right, exactly. But we're not talking about that movie. We're talking
Yeah.
about 97
We're
first.
talking about the good movie first.
Oh, dude. Jack Frost 97. So much fun. I love this movie.
It's like, is it a conventionally good movie? No.
No.
But who gives a shit?
It's a really
The
funny
movie
horror
knows
film.
what it is.
Exactly. Yeah, it is one of those horror films that is ridiculous and stupid, but
It's in on the joke.
it's in on the joke, but it's not obnoxious over the fact that it's in on the joke.
It's like, it's kind of critic proof because it's like, it's about a killer snowman. What the fuck did you want?
Right. But again, it doesn't go too far like something like Rubber, where it goes too far into being like, oh, you can't make fun of me. It's like, no, you're just a boring piece of shit. Like, no, this movie knows how to have fun with its concept.
Yeah, because like, even when the snowman isn't there, people are still acting crazy and being funny regardless.
Yeah, and the characters themselves, the actors themselves, are taking the materials semi-seriously enough that it is hilarious.
They're playing it straight when they need to, but they're hamming it up when they need to.
Exactly. Yes, it is that perfect balance. I'm shocked that this movie does it so well.
It's like when Jack Frost gets to like the rec center and it's like, hey, Jack, 7-10 split. And then they all put up the hairdryer at the same time with the fucking 90s ass camera shot.
That's funny.
And like the movie opens with like that, the narration, like the grandpa telling the story to the girl and is like, yeah, you're gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah, that's bizarre. That is a bizarre opening, but it works because it's so outlandish and absurd. The accents the characters are putting on is so funny.
Do you want a happy story or a scary story? A scary happy story. Which like that just sets the tone.
Exactly. It sets the tone perfectly.
So Jack Frost was a serial killer who has been terrorizing the Midwest, who apparently also worked at a pie place and started putting people's body parts in pie, which eventually gave him away.
Mm-hmm.
But also the sheriff caught him accidentally too.
Yeah, that too.
So he's going to be sentenced to be executed when the truck just so happens to crash into a chemical truck that turns him into a snowman.
Yep. It happens.
There is the actual scientific reasoning of it melts down his molecules and they fuse with the snow.
Yeah, they show that like little or like late 90s CGI where like the blood cells are turning into snowflakes.
I like how there's more of an explanation for the snowman in the shitty horror movie than the actual blockbuster Warner Brothers movie.
Hey man, they cared.
They cared correctly. I think Warner Brothers did care about Jack Frost 98, but it's just that the script was terrible.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Whereas the script for this was funny.
Yeah, the script for this is also not good, but it's funny.
Yeah. They know that it's bare bones, and that's fine.
Right.
And they want to make you see the bones.
Yeah, and they know exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself.
And the bones have a little bit of red on them.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
So yeah, and eventually Jack, the snowman is also cooler because like he can like melt down to water at will to get places.
And you never see him melt down because they didn't have that in the budget.
Correct.
So it's all through like camera angles and the sound effects, but it's effective enough. Not as a horror film again, but as a horror comedy, it's effective.
Yeah. Like that's like always the caveat that I think a lot of general audiences miss with movies like this, where like they heard it's a horror movie, they miss the part where it's a horror comedy.
Right.
It is funny it's being jokey on purpose.
Right.
It's not actively trying to scare you all the time. It wants you to have fun. And I think because people hear the horror part first, they think this it's supposed to try to scare them, and then when they're not scared, it's like this movie sucks. Like it's a comedy too.
See, that is always bizarre to me because there are movies like Young Frankenstein and Shaun of the Dead, two wildly popular and celebrated horror films that are horror comedies. And yet movies like Jack Frost don't get that same treatment.
Because they saw Hot Fuzz first and then saw Shaun of the Dead later or something. I don't know.
Because Shaun of the Dead was insanely popular. I just think people are picking and choosing, or they misunderstand why they like Shaun of the Dead and Young Frankenstein.
Or maybe it's because they were told that those were good movies, so they watched them like, hey, this is good. But because someone else told them these movies are bad, they were like, oh, I guess those are bad movies.
Yeah, that's fair to say. Because, for years I was told the Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street sequels are bad. It's like, well, I've seen them. Some of them are bad, but some of them are fun.
Yeah, because people don't want to actually take the time to watch them.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
There are still so many people who have only watched -1 and none of the other Toho films.
Yeah. Don't even get you started on fucking Godzilla films and the stigmas attached to them.
The closest thing to a Godzilla Chris movies, there's the winter scenes in -1 and then the ending of Son of Godzilla. That's the only tangent I can bring up here.
It's fair.
And do we want to talk about Jack Frost next? We just want to keep going about the plot. Well, I guess we kind of already explained what the plot is. The serial killer turns into a snowman and he just starts wreaking more holiday havoc. And he's specifically after the sheriff who got him caught in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's the
plot.
That's an effective plot. I think that's effective enough. Simple, but it knows that that's kind of like the bare bones story it's telling. But then it fills that up.
It's a slasher movie.
Right, it's a slasher movie. So you got to fill that time up with really interesting kills. And I'd say the kills, as hilariously slow moving as they are still entertaining.
Yeah.
Like you get the guy.
Some of them are pretty basic, like the axe in the head and like the sleigh one, but then others are like the fucking Christmas tree scene.
Oh, I love that because it sets it up at the beginning where the woman's like, I always wanted to be the angel on top of the Christmas tree. It's like, what an odd thing to say.
And then she is the Christmas tree.
Exactly. They set it up. That's called good script writing.
And it happens a little slow, but it's also a joke of a sequence.
Right.
So why are you complaining?
Right, exactly. And plus, it's not the worst. It's obviously fake looking, the snowman especially, but again, it's fake in a way that it's endearingly hilarious.
Yeah. The snowman effects in the 90 FM are better, but that's also because that's a studio film, so they had this thing called a budget.
Right, but also
so it better look good.
Right, but also there's some pretty weak effects in that movie, but we'll get to that one.
Yeah,
we'll get to that.
And it's the weaker effects in that one are more of a detriment because they had more money, whereas here it's they have a guy in a costume and that's all we get.
Yeah, and it's charming. I think it's charming.
It looks good for what it is.
Yes, exactly.
For the movie that this is, it's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have a problem with the effects. I think even though they're obvious, they're charming, and I love that.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the bath scene?
To talk about the fact that Jack Frost eliminates an entire bloodline in one day.
That we could talk about that. Yeah, that's pretty fucking killer, dude.
Because when you think about it, it's he kills the kid because he's a bully.
Mm-hmm.
And then he comes back for the mom and dad later, and then it's we gotta tell Jill her entire family is dead. And just then, by sheer happenstance, he also just kind of kills Jill. So the entire family is dead.
Yeah, the entire family is just dead, exactly. Well, so they slice off Billy's head because the snowman pushes Billy, and the fucking sled going at 2 miles an hour slices his head off, and his head just fucking flies.
And then the dad, what happened to the dad got the axe in the head.
That's the axe in the mouth. He just fucking shoves it down there. That's great.
The mom gets turned into the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then so later in the movie, Jill, played by Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie,
and
Gibby,
the
guy Gibby, was that his name?
She's the mom in Gibby.
The monkey movie,
remember when we watched Gibby the monkey movie and we saw it and she played the mom and you and me were just like, we've seen that lady's tits before.
Yeah. Forgot about the movie for 5 seconds. So then Shannon Elizabeth and the guy are about to fuck.
Mm-hmm. In the sheriff's house for what reason?
So that they can have a sex scene.
Right.
But then they don't have the sex scene.
Right.
I forget the reason. I was also kind of decorating my tree when that was happening.
With the mom?
No, just mine in my house.
Right.
By myself.
Right.
I have my own tree. There's one in the living room, but then there's one in my room.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I could see Chernobog, I could see Kong, I could see Sonic and Knuckles fighting. I see the tombstone of Judith Myers.
See, you have the coolest ornaments, dude.
Yeah, it's right near Peter Griffin and Snow Miser.
See, all I have for an ornament is the Surviving Christmas DVD that I poked a hole in last year.
I need an entire tree just for all my own stuff. You want Bunsen and Beaker right next to each other.
Didn't you get that recently, the Bunsen and Beaker one?
Those were last year.
Last year's, that's right.
The Muppet one for this year was Miss Piggy in space.
Right, I remember you telling me about that.
So, yeah, I was kind of also watching them. We were doing decorations.
I mean, hey, you gotta do something like decorating while watching Christmas specials. That makes sense.
Yeah. So I don't remember the exact reason why they were in the sheriff's house, but
they just are.
Joe goes up to set the shower so that they have shower sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jack Frost shows up.
Mm-hmm. Because he's in the bath. He's like he's the water in the bathtub. She's like, "Thank you," because she thinks the boyfriend made her a bath.
No,
didn't happen.
Which the fact that he can turn into water is actually just really cool conceptually.
That is a really
doesn't do anything.
That is a really cool idea for a horror film that is unfortunately
flooded.
Yeah, it's used in this movie, which is more of a horror comedy. But I think as an idea for a horror film, that is a good idea.
Like horror movie villains with water is a thing that you can do somewhere else too. It doesn't just have to be a one-time thing in this.
Of course.
I don't think anyone would call it a ripoff if someone else was able to turn to water.
They're ripping off Jack Frost in 1997.
Because the bit with this movie is that he's a snowman.
Right, exactly.
I think that's where people were to come to first.
Yeah.
If it was another snowman that could do that, then yes.
Then that would raise some eyebrows.
But if it was just like a guy who could turn into water, no one would care.
Right, yeah.
So he turns into the water in the bath to like reform when she's in the shower. Hey, where's the carrot? And to be fair, the actual kill itself isn't great because he's just kind of like bashing her head against the wall.
Yeah, she's just kind of trapped. He just forms back into a snowman and just starts like pushing her up against the like shower wall. It's goofy.
But also, the point of the scene is that a snowman is fucking a woman in the shower.
Yeah, with the carrot you don't see.
Yeah, which is a joke in the credits. The ending credits for this movie is loaded with jokes.
Yes.
It's like in between the credits, they just have one-liners sprinkled throughout.
It's great. It's fantastic.
It's like one of them is just, where's the carrot in the shower scene?
Because you're wondering, wait a minute.
Like, let me see. Did I say anything else? Oh, yeah. There's a credit for worst joke told by. Yeah. I guess someone on set told a bad joke and they just put that in the credits.
I'd love to hear his bad joke.
Like, you gotta appreciate when movies have funny credits.
Yeah, that's fun. Like, more credits should do that.
What was the movie that had, like, it had the best boy credit, but then it had worst boy, Adolf Hitler?
I'm pretty sure that's Airplane that did that. That sounds like an Airplane thing.
Either that or a Mel Brooks movie, one of the two.
Yeah, one of the two, exactly. It sounds like a spoof movie kind of thing, but one of the good spoof movies that did that.
Yeah. Like, the only modern equivalent I can think of is in King of the Monsters, where, like, they have Godzilla himself.
Did they do that? That's so funny. I forgot.
Yeah, the credits for King of the Monsters at the end of the cast it lists Godzilla, Mothra, Rodan, and Ghidorah, and it just says himself, herself, himself.
Nice. And that's why King of the Monsters is the best one.
So, yeah, like a snowman fucks someone in the shower, and it's the woman from American Pie. It's like, honestly, like the moment in this movie where like you see the snowman in the fucking truck and doing the stop sign, where it's like, I don't know how you can watch this and not get that the movie's a joke.
Yeah, it's a joke and a funny joke. Like that's the other thing too, is like, yes, it can be ridiculous, but the humor is funny. Like I'm laughing. I think this is fun. This is a funny movie. So I'm okay with it making these jokes.
And then he just starts going full sequel Freddy mode where he's just doing one-liners all the time.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah.
It's a long drive.
I can see your house from up here.
The point is like he's just having fun being a snowman.
I
don't know what I'm going to do in the summer. I guess I will melt for a while and then just reform when it's colder.
Yeah. Well, that is the sequel where they go to like a beach paradise.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
seen it. I don't remember anything about it, but I have seen it.
I haven't yet, but I know it exists.
Yeah, it's been.
It's also on Blu-ray now because when MVD got the rights to the movie, they put both of them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's been years since it had been years since I had last seen this one, and so I barely remembered things about it. But then rewatching it, I can definitely say this is a fun horror film.
Yeah, like when he the effect when he gets like the icicle teeth isn't great, but like it's also funny. Just you can like fucking chomp people.
He's just chomping people.
It's like, and then also the fact that he can also just make icicles at will is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like he actually just have like a kit and abilities he can use. It's not like it's just I'm a snowman here and I'm holding an axe. It's like no, he has abilities of his own.
Yeah, they're clever. They're clever enough. They know what to do with this kind of character.
They actually put thought behind it, whereas in the other movie he's a snowman and yeah. What were all of the kills again? Because it's like it's the sled to the head.
Yeah, sled to the head. Well, there was the unseen the first body they come across is the old man and like the apple farm or whatever. And there's that shot that's like that really good shot where you just see the old man just kind of rocking back and forth, and he's this frozen corpse, and the three cops are like looking at him, and then one of them goes, "Hey, stop poking at his rocking chair," and he takes his foot off, and it stops rocking. Yeah, you don't see how he died, but you can just imagine he just died because the snowman just like I don't know made things cold for him.
Didn't he also have like a slit throat?
Probably did, yeah.
Then is it then Billy next?
Yeah, Billy, the sled decapitation, then the axe, then the tree. I want to say then it was one of the other cops who then finds him in the middle of the road with the stop sign.
Yeah, the car runs him over.
The car runs him over. Yeah. And then I want to say,
which at this point now the movie's full on a comedy.
Right, it's a full on comedy. I think then it turns in. Then it goes to the house, and that's when the boyfriend gets stabbed to death.
Yeah, it's a long drive.
It's a long drive.
And then Joe gets bashed on the back of the head in the shower.
Yep, the shower scene, the very famous shower scene. And then I think it, and then it turns into the climax when they're at the church and they're no. When they go to the police station and
they blow it the fuck up, and then he reforms, but in the wrong order.
Right. Look, Mom, a Picasso.
I'll see you when I put myself back together.
Yeah, and that's when they go to the church. And they think they've defeated him, but then they don't. And that's when he like injects himself into what the scientist character.
Yeah.
And
and just vomits himself back up.
Yeah, the scientist character just goes, fuck it, and just vomits him up.
He also killed the FBI guy right before that, I think.
That's weird, because I think the FBI guy, not the same actor, but he comes back in the sequel, if I'm not mistaken. But I guess he just chomps off his face, and he has a different face in the next one. I don't know. I don't remember the sequel very much, so who knows?
And then, is that all the kills then?
I would say that's about it. Yeah.
Well, the kid almost kills his dad by putting antifreeze in his trail mix.
Oh, that is the funniest Deus Ex Machina. So good. Yeah, explain that.
So there's like a scene in the beginning where like the kid makes special like trail mix or something for his dad to help him keep awake.
Yeah, special oats. So he's just making him lunch, and then the dad's like, "Wow, that looks disgusting," but he doesn't want to like hurt his son's feelings, so he's like, "Yeah, put it in," which is weird because the son looks like he's 12, but this is something that a 6-year-old would do. But it's like, whatever.
And then like he just leaves in the car all day.
Yeah.
And then some of it gets on Jack Frost later, and then he gets hurt. It's like, what'd you put in those oats? Well, I didn't want you to get cold, so I put antifreeze in them. Which is like the shittiest joke ever, but it works.
It's so funny. I put antifreeze in your oats, Dad.
Which then gives him the idea of just like fucking body slam Jack Frost into a truck full of antifreeze.
Yeah, and it works.
And then they just bottle all the antifreeze up so he can't escape and bury the bottles of antifreeze.
But then it glows green underground, setting up a sequel.
Because like he's still alive in there.
Yeah.
He just can't get out.
Right, exactly. That's great. Like that's a great ending because it does the whole horror cliche where it's like, oh, the killer's not actually dead, but it is a very striking image, and I like that.
The fucking antifreeze bottles in hell.
Yeah, exactly. They're glowing green.
What do you think Satan's reaction is when he just sees like a couple buckets of antifreeze drop down? It's like, what the fuck? Maybe I guess I can keep my car warm.
Yeah, even though
Satan's in the Beelzemobile.
Yeah, even though it's hell, so it's probably warm already. But I guess hell froze over. It's that episode of Smiling Friends.
Well, actually, no. Antifreeze is a coolant for cars, isn't it?
Well, it's antifreeze.
Yeah, but isn't that what you use it for cars?
I'm not a car guy. I feel like such an idiot for not knowing this.
Yeah, I think it's used as a coolant for cars.
Okay, so he can keep his car cool down in hell. So, okay, it works.
Yeah, it melts ice, but it keeps your car cool.
Right, because you don't want to, like, overheat your car. Okay, yeah.
I think, like, the bit is that, like, what it actually does, it makes the freezing point of water much lower.
Right.
So that's the logic for this movie, but I think it also gets mixed with water to be used as a coolant for cars.
Right, okay, yeah, that makes sense then. I learned something today.
Is like, what is like that? They have like that rock version of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, I think, in this movie or something.
Yes, they have a couple remixes of classic Christmas carols throughout this.
And none of them are in the credits, so I can't look them up.
I know, isn't that a shame? I guess because it's part of the actual score, because I noticed they did use some Christmas carols within the score. They just changed the notes a little bit to kind of, have it be a little off, since it is a horror film. Even though it's a Christmas horror film, it's a little off.
And I like how the initial plan to get rid of him is just hair dryers.
I mean, it works.
It works for 5 minutes. Hey, Jack, 7-10 split. And then just all in a row simultaneously.
Hey, Jack, what's the difference between snowmen and snow women?
Snowballs.
Well, the thing at the beginning, that's the joke at the beginning. Like, oh, what's the difference between snowmen and snow women? Snowballs. It's like, oh, but then at the end.
They tell it twice.
Yeah, they tell that joke twice, but then at the end, the third time, so then when the sheriff character asks, hey, Jack, what's the difference between snowmen and snow women? And he goes, what? He goes, no balls. It's like, whoa, changing it up there, dude.
Yeah, fuck Jack.
I know. He's taking the subversion, but subverting it by making the actual joke. It's good. Good wordplay. Good tight script.
Better script than the other movie.
Mm-hmm. That is agreeable.
You know what? The other thing that's sad about comparing this movie to the other one is that this was also straight to video.
Yeah, that is a shame. Whereas the other one actually went to theaters because it had bigger actors in it.
So it's like this is like the smaller straight to video and TV low budget movie, and it looks pretty good for what it is.
Yeah.
And then you have the actual Warner Brothers 75th anniversary film, because this was released during their 75th anniversary. And it's like, it looks okay.
But like, it also looks like a TV movie at times.
And like, since it's a Christmas movie, it also releases at the end of the year. So it's like, this is their last big release of that year, I guess. And it's like the most boring thing they could have done.
Yeah, so do we want to move on to Jack Frost 98?
You know, if you want to watch Jack Frost 97, it's probably on Tubi, and it's available on Blu-ray from MVD.
Yeah,
along with the sequel.
Please
I have the Vinegar Syndrome version, but that's out of print now. But the movie itself is still available from MVD.
Yeah, it's on Prime Video. It's on Tubi. I want to get this MVD Blu-ray. If I get the Vinegar Syndrome Blu-ray, that could also work. But this MVD Blu-ray looks pretty fucking sweet.
The Vinegar one would be more money at this point because it is out of print. So like you'd save money getting the MVD version. Plus, it'd probably still have the slipcover.
All right, MVD it is. But yeah, I am so adding this to the collection. It is a fun horror film. I highly, highly recommend it.
I'm looking up what movies Warner Brothers released in 1998.
Yeah, please. The year I was born. I want to hear what they have.
Yeah, so Warner Brothers 75th anniversary year. And their releases were for January was Fallen. It failed at the box office with mixed reviews.
Ugh.
Zero Effect, The Night Flyer, The Wedding Singer, which
Okay.
was technically a new run release, but it
Yeah.
got grandfathered in.
Yeah, but
Spear.
I hear that one's good. Not Sphere, the Wedding Singer. I hear that one's good.
Yeah. Dangerous Beauty.
I never heard of these.
Palmetto.
I don't know that.
Dark City. This list includes like everything that he would distribute.
Okay, well, you know what? Dark City.
So Little Rough.
Like-
U.S. Marshals, Incognito, Mr. Nice Guy, which the Jackie Chan movie.
Haven't seen it.
The Butcher Boy, Lost in Space,
Oh,
The Players Club, City of Angels, My Giant, Wild Man Blues, Major League Back to the Minors.
I've never heard of
Sour Grapes.
Nope.
Tarzan and the Lost City.
Nope.
Woo. Quest for Camelot.
Oh.
The Last Days of Disco. Almost Heroes. A Perfect Murder. Passion in the Desert. We're in July now.
Oh no.
Lethal Weapon 4.
Oh no.
Became one of the top 10 grossing films of the year.
I mean, that makes sense because Lethal Weapon was kind of the biggest thing in the 90s, but like Lethal Weapon 4?
Love Letter. The Negotiator. The Avengers.
I actually have seen The Negotiator.
One, right?
The British Avengers, yes. But I have seen The Negotiator. I remember liking it, but like I don't remember much about it.
Wrongfully Accused. Okay. Some good news. Blade.
Okay, finally. When did Blade come out?
August 21st.
So it only took a couple fucking... Okay, so
actually, technically that was New Line, so it wasn't even Warner Brothers yet.
For fuck's sake. Well, August 21st. Okay, so I've been born by now because my birthday is August 7th. So, okay. Keep going, though.
Yeah, Why Do Fools Fall in Love? Without Limits and Let's Talk About Sex. Both of which came out on September 11th.
Oh, no.
Esmeralda Comes by Night. Rush Hour, which is a New Line.
I've never seen Rush Hour, so I can't comment.
Practical Magic.
Never heard of it.
Pleasantville, which was New Line.
I hear that's good, but I've never seen it. Soldier.
October 30th, Living Out Loud, New Line. Both of those are New Line. American History X happened. Home Fries. Jack Frost, which is this.
Ugh.
You've Got Mail.
Okay. Haven't seen that one, but it's Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan.
Legend of 1900 and Hurly Burly, which were both fine line features. You've Got Mail was the last big Warner Bros. Release of 98.
I mean, I've never heard anybody say that's the worst thing ever, so...
It's Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan. That was like a working duo back in the 90s.
Yeah.
That worked.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah. So it seems 98 was not a good year for Warner Brothers because the best movies they had that I could derive from there, being Dark City and fucking Blade, were technically New Line.
From New Line,
yeah.
And they didn't own New Line yet.
Right. So, yeah.
First 3 years sucks sometimes.
Warner Brothers really dropped the ball on that one. Jesus Christ.
Better or worse than last year for the 100th?
Oh.
Because at least the 100th had Barbie.
Yeah, the 100th had Barbie. I feel like 100th, though, is the bigger milestone than 75. So, like...
Yeah, it like Barbie's success offset the bomb of The Flash.
Right, but also, I doubt Barbie was because of Warner Brothers and was mostly... Barbie was mostly a hit because of the working parts.
Because of the meme.
Because of the meme, because of Greta Gerwig. I feel like those are the things to say that's what caused it to be a success. Whereas, like, Warner Brothers had no part in that.
Last year, Warner Brothers had Mummies, which I don't know what that is. They had the House Party remake. They had Magic Mike's Last Dance.
Oh.
They had Creed 3.
Which I hear is... I don't know anything about Creed 3 now that I think about it.
They had Creed 3. They had Shazam. They had Air, the shoe movie that apparently was pretty good.
I haven't seen it yet, but yeah.
Oh, never mind. They only did that internationally. Never mind.
Right.
The Evil Dead Rise.
I haven't seen it yet, but like, I really don't care to.
Flash.
Yeah,
they had Barbie.
They had Barbie.
They had Meg 2.
I won't know if that's any good until we do the Incident episode.
They had Blue Beetle, which I heard was okay.
I don't like
They
it,
had
but
Bottoms.
I haven't seen Bottoms, so I can't
I
comment
hear
on
it's
that.
good.
I hear it's good too.
The Nun too. Okay. Saltburn. People kind of like that, right?
I hate Saltburn. That is such a bad movie.
The Very Little Batman.
Uh,
Wonka.
uh,
Aquaman 2.
uh,
Color Purple.
I haven't seen it.
I heard people liked it. Now we're in this year.
Um,
In this year they had Twisters.
well, this year they had Twisters, which I like Twisters.
And Beetlejuice.
I like Beetlejuice. I know a lot of people don't, but I think Beetlejuice 2 is fine. The Dune. Dune.
Yeah.
Thumbs up for Dune. Dune Part 2.
You know, they had the international theatrical distribution for Red 1.
Okay, so
Yeah.
based.
Best movie ever.
Yeah, best movie ever. Exactly.
And this year they still have that animated Lord of the Rings movie.
The one I care very little to check out. I just it looks so boring.
They haven't advertised it well.
They haven't advertised it well, and every time I see a commercial for it, they always show like the live action Lord of the Rings movies in it, where they're just like, "You love these movies." It's like, yeah, I do. I should watch those instead of whatever the fuck you're advertising right now.
I like how we just don't want to talk about Jack Frost 98, so we just went on tangent.
We always go on tangents, but they're entertaining tangents.
Yeah. Well, because the 98 film just isn't very good.
No, it's not. It is fucking it's awful. It's so boring, dude. It's miserable because it's about a deadbeat dad fucking dying and coming back as a snowman. But like,
you know, that's like the set for the movie, but actually watching it, he's not even a deadbeat.
That's good. That's a good point you brought up. Yes, the movie doesn't do a very good job at showing him be that much of a deadbeat father.
Because it's like he comes home and like it seems like he genuinely loves his family and they love him.
Yeah.
He accidentally ate flakes on his kid's soccer game because he was working. Which like is shitty, but like he was fucking at work.
Right, exactly. I hate that cliche in movies where they're just like, "Oh, the father who doesn't have time for his kids." It's just like no.
He's in a and the set ran late.
Yeah.
They have the set like that there's a lot of work there. Like the mom understands.
The mom understands. The kid should understand, like
because he knows he was just on tour.
Right. I genuinely can't stand that cliche. I can't stand that cliche.
And then the next problem is like there's that gig because he's about to get signed that he has to go to on Christmas Day, and it's like they establish he doesn't even want to go in the first place, and like the mom is working with him like, okay, because we understand this is a big deal that if you do get signed, that's like this is kind of huge and you probably should do it. It sucks that you miss Christmas. But also, getting signed is kind of a big deal.
Right.
Maybe you'd want to play the whole day and can come home anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're working with him. And even then, when he is on the way there, he stops and decides not to do it anyway.
Because the band says they don't want to do it. They're just like, yeah, we didn't want to do this either. It's like, so did they not communicate that? Why are we having this conversation now?
Like, we don't fucking want to do this anyway. Let's just go home.
It's like... So yeah, why is this plot makes no sense, because the way we're supposed to kick off the plot makes no sense because just nobody communicated.
But it's like he makes the right choice anyway and then just dies in a car accident.
And he's made into a snowman because.
Yeah, they don't even explain why he's a snowman. He just is.
Yeah, they make it so that because the kid like builds a snowman a year later while Landslide by Fleetwood Mac is playing, and then for no reason he like plays his dad's harmonica that his dad gave him earlier in the movie, and that causes him to come back to life as a snowman.
Yeah, that's the long and short of it. They don't even bother explaining it. It's just magic.
Yeah, it's just magic, which it's like, okay, fine, but then, okay, if you're not going to explain why he comes back, then you better damn well fill the movie with funny jokes, interesting drama, likable characters. None of this is in the movie.
Yeah, because like a lot of the real drama would be with the mother, and like she is completely uninvolved in the plot until the very end anyway.
Right.
So it's like, and then like the jokes are like fine, but like it's not enough of a comedy to justify it. And even then, like a lot of that would be jokes at his expense for being a snowman. But like you would want that if he was an asshole, and he isn't.
No.
So like those jokes don't land. So it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's a very confused movie because it's using cliches that you would expect, but also not setting up the characters to fill those cliches properly.
Like, does it want to be a drama or a comedy? Kind of have to like pick one to lean into, and you can have drama in a comedy. You can have
Yes,
comedy in a drama. You kind
absolutely.
of need to do those things, but like you have to
Absolutely.
lean into one more than the other, and this doesn't really properly lean into either of them.
No, it's too much of a
So,
pussy to go either way.
this movie to drag and just kind of meander around.
Yeah, because I feel like it wants to be a comedy, but it doesn't want to be too offensive, which is fucking stupid. But then it also doesn't want to go straight into drama because then it would alienate people for being too sad. And it's like, no,
And
you
also because it's a movie about a snowman.
right, and that's ridiculous. So when you have a concept like that, you have to lean into the comedy. Like it doesn't matter if it deals with death. It's like, no, be funny. You can be funny with that. You can tell jokes.
We also don't even get any aftermath of the car crash. Just like immediately 1 year later.
It is so funny, yeah, because it does this weird thing where yeah he crashes, it cuts to black, it then fades in on the cabin he was heading to and his son looking out the window, then it fades back to black, and then it hard cuts to 1 year later and he's in school again. It's like wait a minute. You
So
skipped a
like,
couple steps.
yeah. Which also tells you we can't do the drama because like that would be like a big important thing. We're finding out he died.
Right, exactly. So clearly this movie wants to be a comedy, but then it doesn't tell any funny jokes.
And like he tries to like be funny when he is the snowman, but it's like now he feels like a different character because he wasn't really doing that when he was alive.
Yeah, he was quirky and smarmy, but not like making like one-liners every other sentence. He wasn't doing that.
You know, because like in the beginning, they also really lean into the fact that he's a musician because like we see him playing with his band, he has the stuff, the harmonica, and then like when he becomes a snowman, that's all completely irrelevant.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who he was in a previous life because yeah,
You
he doesn't do anything. He doesn't use any of his musician skills as a snowman.
Yeah, like you'd think that the movie would be more about that.
Yeah,
Like maybe that's how they find out he's the dad.
but no,
Like have the scene where the snowman is playing guitar,
that would be cool.
and they never do anything about that again. And it's like you'd think there's would be more emphasis on music in this film.
Yeah, but
And
no.
like I was looking it up, like the people who like in the band actually do music in real life, and like some of them have some pretty fucking cool histories. Specifically, the first two, Trevor Rabin, who was the lead guitarist, and Lily Hayden, who was the violinist.
Mm-hmm.
So our boy Trevor here, he's probably like the biggest one here, because he's kind of done a lot. So he has history as a solo artist. He's worked with the band Rabbit.
Okay.
He's worked with Yes.
Oh,
He's done multiple film scores.
such
Like he's
as.
contributed scores and like composed. I'll go down the list that's on Wikipedia.
Oh, I can't
Death
wait.
of a Snowman, Fair Game, The Glimmer Man, Con Air,
Okay.
Homegrown, Armageddon,
Oh,
Enemy of the State, Jack Frost, Deep Blue Sea, Whispers in Elephant's Tail, Gone in 60 Seconds, Remember the Titans, The Sixth Day, American Outlaws, Rockstar, The One, Texas Rangers, Bad Company, The Banger Sisters, Kangaroo Jack, Bad Boys 2,
oh,
Torque, Exorcist the Beginning,
oh.
National Treasure,
Ooh.
Coach Carter, Dominion prequel to The Exorcist,
Ugh.
The Great Raid, Glory Road, Snakes on a Plane,
Okay.
Gridiron Gang, Flyboys, The Guardian, the big one here that I clicked on, Hot Rod,
Oh shit, dog! That's exciting.
National Treasure Book of Secrets,
Sure.
Get Smart, 12 Rounds, Race to Witch Mountain, fucking G-Force,
Oh no.
The Sorcerer's Apprentice,
Ugh.
I am number 4, 5
Uh-huh.
Days of War, The Movement, One Man Joins an Uprising, Grudge Match, Max, The Misfits. He's done some TV stuff. He's did the 12 Monkeys show.
Okay.
He's done guest appearances in other songs. Like he was the guitar on Talking to Yourself by Carly Rae Jepsen.
Okay.
He was the guitar and background vocals for Tina Turner's Wildest Dreams.
Uh-huh.
He was the guitar for Michael Jackson in like the double album History, Past, Present, and Future.
Yeah.
So like he's done a lot.
He's been around, yeah.
Yeah. Like this guy's been around, like working with Yes. That's pretty cool. He did the score for Hot Rod. Best movie ever.
Yeah, that's a W in my book there, dude. Holy shit.
And then like Lily Hayden, the violinist, which like first of all, just playing a violin professionally like that in bands is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's not easy. So that's pretty cool.
Like we were talking about like broccoli and other things that had bad reputations when we were kids in media. The violin got shat on when we were kids for no reason.
Yeah, I would have liked to have learned how to play the violin.
I was like, you always got like the stereotype of I have to learn and practice my violin because my parents were making me, and it's like,
yeah, what a nerd.
Like, and it's like in real life, it's like, dude, the violin is cool.
Yeah, the violin, the fiddle.
Put a violin in something, they're awesome.
Dude, my favorite song of all time, Baba O'Reilly, has the best fiddle solo ever. It is so cool.
Lily, besides Jack Frost, you know the Columbo spin-off series, Mrs. Columbo?
I've never heard of it, but now I have. Go on.
She was the daughter. She's Columbo's daughter.
Wow.
She's contributed to the scores, like she's been like the pit for like several Hans Zimmer productions, apparently. Like she was in Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Oh shit, dog. Wow.
Her and Roger Waters were at Coachella in 2008, where they played Dark Side of the Moon together.
Nice. I'd love to hear that.
She appeared on Californication, this TV show.
Okay.
So like they don't have a whole lot of stuff from her, but she like contributed multiple film scores and stuff like that.
Yeah, but still playing the violin is really cool.
Yeah. And like you can tell that they actually have skills because like they were probably actually playing in this movie.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Oh yeah, she scored 7 films, including Anita, The House That Jack Built, and Driver X.
Okay, The House That Jack Built, the Lars von Trier film.
It doesn't have a link to click, but I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah.
She's done 4 TED Talks.
Okay.
Let me just check House That Jack Built.
Yeah, please, because I'd like to have that confirmed.
Well, now I gotta check. Does House That Jack Built just not have a Wikipedia article?
I guess not. Jeez. I didn't think it was that underground that it wouldn't even have a fucking...
Now I found it.
Okay.
It just wasn't showing up when I typed in the search bar for some reason.
That's bizarre.
It's not showing her on there. Maybe she just contributed to the score, but wasn't like the main composer.
Right.
Or maybe there are other films called The House of Jack Built.
Probably. It doesn't sound like that, original of a title. I mean, it's just a 2018 film. I mean, I like the movie. It's just, there's probably been other things called The House That Jack Built.
I'll probably look her up on IMDb, and that probably, IMDb probably just has more credits for her.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody Leaves Till Jesus Comes, Bad Faith, Ginny and Georgia, Split at the Root, Strip Down, Rise Up, Weep Not, Roof, Justice Ginsburg in her own words, Feminists, what were they thinking? Driver X, Women Who Score, Hidden Tears. Okay, it's a different House That Jack Built.
Okay, well, I'm glad we confirmed that, though.
Directed by Henry Barriel, starring E.G. Bonilla, Melissa Fumero, Leo Minaya.
Yeah, no, that is not the 2018 Lars von Trier film.
Now we know for certain.
Now we know. But still, check out House That Jack Built, the Lars von Trier film. It's pretty good. I like it.
See, that House That Jack Built doesn't even show up on Letterboxd.
No. It's probably like a student short
Driver
film.
X shows up, though.
Oh, does it?
Oh, by the same guy who did that other one.
Oh.
Wait, no, now it does show up, but she's not listed as composer. What the fuck, Jack? I guess the movie database hasn't been filled out enough.
The House That Jack Built.
But also in Jack Frost, 3 of Frank Zappa's kids were in this movie.
Yeah, I noticed that. While looking at the cast list, I'm like, wait a minute. Zappa?
Yeah, one of them was the snowplow driver.
The guy who's like rocking out the whole time? Yep.
Yeah.
The other one was I'm pretty sure the teacher when they're leaving school, that's his daughter.
And then the other one,
I didn't know there was a third one. What's the third one?
Dweezil Zappa. Oh, the music agent, John Kaplan.
Oh, the guy at the beginning who's just like, you know that new sound you've been looking for?
Yeah.
Well, listen to this.
Yeah, because they fucking do the Back to the Future thing in the beginning of this movie.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
You know, what kind of songs do they even play most of the time?
They were playing Frosty the Snowman, and then they played some OG original song during that montage when the kids had hockey practice.
Was there a Christmas song or not?
I don't know. It didn't sound particularly Christmassy, but I mean, I don't know.
Because, like, it'd be weird if they were explicitly a Christmas band, but they're also the Jack Frost band. So it's like, what do you do for most of the year?
Right. Because I guess Jack Frost, because I found out about this, where it's like, because I watched another thing called Jack Frost recently, but it was the Iwerks 1934 cartoon Jack Frost, where Jack Frost is not like a winter character. He's more of a character that's just painting the leaves different colors, implying that autumn has arrived and that winter is coming. Because he's like this tiny little elf character, and like there's this little bear character who's just like, I'm not afraid of winter, and then winter comes. He's just like, oh fuck, now I'm afraid of winter. It was a really weird cartoon, but it helped to realize, wait, who is Jack Frost really? You know?
Well, there's also a question now of how accurate is the Disney short to the folklore.
That's true too. It is Iwerks, so it's Disney. Or yeah, Iwerks was Disney, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't find this short on Disney Plus. I found it on YouTube. And it happens to also be on a DVD of fucking Christmas cartoons that I did not know was on there. That and the shanty where Santa Claus lives is also on there. That was weird.
I'm pretty sure that's another one of those public domain DVD sets, right?
Oh, dude, you have no idea. It is it is in the same ballpark as the 50 of the Greatest Cartoons VHS. But this one's funnier because one of the cartoons I was watching, called Santa and the Three Bears, it just stops halfway through and moves on to the next cartoon. So
they don't give a shit.
I had to finish that cartoon on Tubi. Blessed be Tubi, because Tubi had it. It also had this weird Soviet cartoon called The Snow Queen. But it was the Americanized version. Oh, this is a whole fucking tangent. I don't know if I want to take you down this rabbit hole, but it was really bizarre.
You know, it's also really funny when you think about it, because like we're in the point now with stuff like Mickey shorts are finally entering the public domain.
Yeah.
But technically, there's many Disney things that are in the public domain, just that they're not the big mainstream hits.
Right, because
so
Disney
didn't really talk about them.
Disney didn't care. So you're gonna get, that's why you have stuff like Da Fuhrer's Face up on YouTube, because Disney doesn't want to claim it.
Like the Mad Doctor has been public domain for decades.
Right, the Mad Doctor. That's a good example. Yeah, that's why Doug Walker and his brother did a Mystery Science Theater 3000 riff track on it, and it's just up on their channel for free, because even though it's a Mickey cartoon, it's in the public domain.
Because it was too dark at one point for them to consider renewing the rights.
I mean, yeah, there is that scene where they like do an X-ray on Pluto's insides, and you can see his bones and shit. So yeah.
I mean, that's not even that bad.
No,
though.
It's not. I mean, for Disney, that is horrible. But for our tastes,
anything else,
that's baby shit.
I feel like Bugs was already doing shit like that. And fine.
Absolutely, Bugs was doing shit like that. Yeah. I'm just saying, yeah, Disney's a whole other level where they're just like, they couldn't even imagine doing that today.
And maybe they should, so they can make good movies again.
That'd be funny. I'd love to see Pluto's bones nowadays. Who knows? Maybe maybe there's a Paul Rudish cartoon where like you see Pluto's bones.
Probably there's a Paul Rudish cartoon where Goofy fucking explodes.
That is true. Yeah, there is that.
Okay, so we were talking about the band, right?
Yeah, we were talking about the band.
Yeah, and then the dad comes back as a snowman, and the kid's happy because he gets to see his dad again.
I guess.
And I guess the dad learns to not flake on his kid, even though he only made like one mistake ever, I guess.
Yeah, it's a really bizarre fucking... It's really bizarre for this character to learn that. But then he also stays dead. So he's...
Well, like, it's a lesson to learn in a movie, but it's the wrong character, because the character does not need to know this.
It's the completely wrong character, yeah. And it's just not... a yeah, it's just not a good lesson to be taught. I mean, it is, but yeah, not with this character and not in the way that the movie treats it.
Yeah. They act really jokey throughout this point now because now he's a snowman, so now he's just making one-liners all the time.
You have the scene where they're getting chased and they throw the snowballs at him and he grows snow boobs.
Which is like a baffling joke for a movie like this.
Yeah,
There's a
exactly.
scene where like he turns the snowball Gatling gun and it's like, oh no, I ran out. And it's like, dude, just move like a foot to the left or right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. For a movie that doesn't know if it wants to tell jokes, it does have some jokes where it's just like, yeah, we should have the snow boob joke. And then when when they get at the bottom of the hill and he's just like, you know what's great about having these big snow balls or something like that? Or like, no, he says like, you know what's great about having these big balls? Sorry about that. It's like, okay, yeah, if you're gonna tell more of those jokes, they're not funny because you're not committing to that kind of humor. If you committed to that type of humor, you could make that kind of humor work, but because it's pussyfooting around, it doesn't work.
It also takes till over halfway through the movie for them to even do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because like he's still alive for like the first half hour of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
It takes too long to get to the point where he's a snowman.
Yeah. Which we should also mention, Michael Keaton wasn't originally meant for the role. Like he was a last minute addition to this movie. The original actor they wanted for the role was George Clooney.
Would that have been better or worse?
I really don't know. Probably worse because I like Michael Keaton. He doesn't say anything funny in this movie, but at least he's trying, sort of. I mean, not really, but I don't know. He's one of those actors where even if he's in a bad movie and he's not trying, he still comes across as kind of entertaining. You know, like The Flash.
How would Clooney have been?
Clooney.
I feel like you get Clooney if you want it to be more of an actual college drama.
Yes. In which case, that probably wouldn't have worked because, you know, you get Batman and Robin, which is a flat out absurd film, and Clooney doesn't really fit in that role, which I guess could add to the comedy, but I don't know.
Also, this movie is pretending that 50 degrees is hot.
Does it really?
Yeah, like that's like at the end of the movie when like worry about him melting. It's like it's 50 degrees out, which like yeah, snow would melt, but like that's not hot.
Yeah.
It's like I have to go across this hot, steaming asphalt to get to the hockey rink, and it's like it's 50 degrees.
Yeah.
The ground is probably still pretty cool.
I guess maybe in comparison, like depending on when it is in the wintertime, 50 degrees can seem, you know, pretty tropical,
Well,
but
it's Christmas, so
right, that would be weird, but also not to the degree that they're treating it.
at that point it's like it only just got cold like a week or two ago.
Yeah, yeah.
In like late January, early February, yes.
Yeah.
December though, it's like winter just fucking started.
Yeah, late January if it was 50 degrees out, that's when I would start wearing shorts, but like yeah, if it's Christmas time, that's weird.
Because like it was 50 degrees out like 3 weeks ago already at that point.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it's like, why are you melting from just that?
You pussy.
Also, he never reveals himself to the mom.
No, he calls the mom to tell her that Charlie's in the cabin because they have a cabin, and she's just
But
like,
also
"Who
it's
is
like,
this?"
why not just reveal yourself to the mom in the first place?
That is weird too. Yeah, he never. I guess.
It's a trope, I get it, but like,
Yeah, but he never.
story-wise, like, why wouldn't you?
Well, that's the other thing too is that like yeah, so Charlie's hiding him. Yeah, wait a minute. Why wouldn't they just tell the mom? Like if he's willing to tell the son, why wouldn't he just tell the mom too?
Hey, Gab, I'm back to life and I'm a snowman. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's
Like, why don't just have him knock on the door? Like, hey, I'm a snowman.
Yeah, I guess that plays into the fact that these movies
They're
have
trying to do the ET thing as the bit. I get it.
Yeah, they're using the wrong tropes. Like we said, with this guy being the deadbeat dad, but he's not a deadbeat dad, but they're still playing him like he is. Yeah, they're playing the whole, oh, we gotta hide the creature. Why? Well, we gotta. That's how movies work.
Yeah. Can I read Rob's review of the movie? Because he watched the movie last night, apparently.
Yeah, so for whatever reason, Shinrab Jira, a friend of the podcast, watched this movie. We didn't know he was. Either he watched it because of us or because it was just happenstance. I'm going to lean more into the happenstance side of it, but still, yeah, go ahead. Read his review.
Nightmarish, unfunny, and a total misuse of Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Batman crashed his car on his way back from the Arkham Christmas show, died, and became a snowman. I like to think he died and then woke up in Birdman or The Unexpected Virtue of Ignorance, the official sequel to the beginning of this tripe. It was all a dream. Lord knows I should have watched that instead. Hey, yo, Snowman Michael Keaton got snowman tits. Ha, very funny. If this is what happens to all dads when they die, turning into snowman and shit, I hope my dad spawned in Florida.
Rob Jira, go fuck yourself. Shadow ban me.
Lewis turns into a snowman.
I may have turned into a snowman, but here's my Ghidorah action figure anyway.
Watch they upload the soundtrack to Queen Meets the Phantom of the Park. Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park.
Thank you, Lewis. Very cool.
So eventually the mom finds out when like the kid runs right at the snowman to find somewhere cool, and they go to the cabin, and then she sees the dad, and then he goes back to heaven, I guess.
So that's weird. He's just like, Charlie, I have to leave. It's like, why? He's like, I have to.
Did he know he could leave at any point?
Well, that's the weird thing. Is like again, it's the end of the movie, so he has to go. Again, playing into the fact that we're using tropes that don't belong here, and so he just has to leave, and so then he turns back into Michael Keaton ghost for like a second, where he's not the snowman, and it drags on for like 5 minutes of the characters just being like, bye, goodbye, bye, goodbye. It's like, just fucking leave already.
Just like, we don't even understand why he came back in the first place. Because like, normally it'd be like, oh, he has to like do a lesson so he can like make amends with his family, and then he can move on to the next life or whatever.
Right.
That's the setup. They don't actually do that. He just shows up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, wait, so could he have left at any point?
It makes no sense. It's literally never brought up. And these are things you should be bringing up in a story like this.
And it's just like, he doesn't actually, we don't establish that the lesson was actually, we know it was learned because he shows up to the hockey game, but like, he just instantly leaves. He goes back to being a human, which like, could you have done that at any point?
Yeah.
It's never established he has like a time limit or anything to this. It's like, so he just like leaves because he feels like it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
He probably could have stayed anyway through the winter.
Well, that's the thing that doesn't make sense, is that he's just like, I have to leave, but I'll always be with you. And he even says, if you need me, just call me. It's like, well, then why are you saying goodbye if he can just call upon you whenever you want? Like, what's the lesson here?
Don't mess with Mary when he's on the breakaway.
I guess so. But again, the goodbye scene just goes on and on for 5 minutes. He's just like, they're just saying like goodbye to each other in various ways. And I'm just like, so long, son. I can't miss you if you don't leave.
Michael Keaton gets paid by the hour.
I guess so. Yeah.
And then like, that's just the end of the movie right there and there. There's no like epilogue or anything, right?
There's literally no falling action. It just shows them like, yeah, it shows him playing hockey with the bully and the neighborhood kids. And then the credits start rolling. It's really awkward.
Oh yeah, he makes amends with the bully because the bully's dad is also gone.
Well, yeah, because the bully character, I guess they don't even really call attention to that. They just have a throwaway line where he's just like, "Come on, man, you know what it's like not growing up with a dad," and the bully kid just goes, "It sucks." It's like, okay, I guess that's all the development we get with this character, and then he just helps him get him onto a truck, and that's how the bully doesn't hate him anymore. It's okay.
Also, they revealed the snowman's alive to the bully.
Yeah, and the bully does have a really funny reaction where he just like kind of turns around like, "Am I being pranked?"
Am I on Ashton Kutcher's show? Am I being punked? Oh, Ashton, come out! Where are you?
Yeah, where is he?
Is this the opening bit for SNL?
Are you about to say live from New York? It's Saturday night.
Because we're in Colorado, so that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah, this portion of Colorado where snow is there all year round.
Yeah, like
right?
Way up in the Rocky Mountains, I would imagine.
They just have him go there.
Yeah, which they do because they're going to the cabin, but then he leaves the ethereal plane anyway.
It's like he doesn't even actually get to spend Christmas with his family.
It's like the movie's just making it up as they go along.
Happy 75th anniversary, Warner Brothers.
Happy 75th anniversary, you fuckers. Here's
And
our
it's like
slop.
like the snowman looks mostly okay. Like it's Henson Company, right?
Yeah, let's talk about the snowman, the actual snowman effect. It is a Jim Henson puppet, and the puppet itself is not terrible. It's in the similar debacle that the Howard the Duck puppet is in, where it's an impressive effect until you get to the facial movements, where it's like, okay, you can only make one face, and so it doesn't look as impressive.
So it looks good, but like considering that this movie actually has a budget, comparing it to the other movie where like they had no budget, it's the no budget one is more impressive.
The low budget one is funnier. Like, I think it's a funnier design. It's it's more fun to look at. Whereas this one's
It's
just
more
ugly,
classic.
more classic.
Like even has the pipe and the carrot nose. This one just has rocks.
Yeah, this one's just rocks. It's just ugly. It's an ugly looking snowman.
Maybe the lesson should have been the kids should make a better looking snowman.
Yeah, I guess he was too busy listening to Landslide by Fleetwood Mac.
Fair enough.
Hey, I like Fleetwood Mac too.
Do we have anything more to say about Jack Frost?
No, it's a bad movie. It's as bad as I was expecting. I had never seen it before. I had only seen the Nostalgia Critic review of it years ago. And so actually watching it now, I can be like, yeah, this is just bad. It's boring. It's pointless. It's not using its tropes properly, so it ends up worse than had they, tried a little bit. It's just bad, man. Yeah, I can't imagine any kid wanting to watch this and then accidentally watching the 97 film. I feel like if that is real, anybody who watches the 97 movie would get far more value out of it than this movie.
The story is also probably like the kids are probably into it, but the parents walk in at the wrong moment, aghast at what they did.
Right, exactly. And they're just like, you can't be watching this.
Mom, you bought it for us.
Yeah, you're the fucking idiot, Mom.
It's like I never understand like when the parents get mad at their kids for playing violent video games, and it's like, who the fuck bought the video game for them?
Yeah, the parents.
Video games are expensive.
Yeah, dude.
I have that kind of money.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did we get here? This is your fault.
Like, I remember a story back when I was in school, like elementary school. My friends said they got grounded from playing Simpsons Hit and Run because they said hell in it at one point, and it's like, I'm not the one that bought the game.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, you got to think about these things logically. Like, if you don't want your kids watching this stuff or playing this stuff, why are you buying this stuff for them in the first place?
Yeah.
And like, maybe the argument could be, oh, well, they get it through other means. It's like, okay, they're not getting everything through other means. Like, you need to be the parent.
It's like, I can understand it like on the computer, like downloading things.
Sure.
But like playing a GameCube game on the GameCube on the TV, you bought that for them.
You bought the GameCube, you bought the TV. You're telling me you didn't buy the game? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Take a little responsibility.
Playing a violent flash game on Newgrounds, sure, that's the kid.
Sure.
Playing Call of Duty on Xbox Live, no, that was you.
Yeah, exactly. There's certain aspects, but even then, it's just like, okay, if you don't want your kids doing that kind of stuff, be a fucking parent. Put your foot down. Be like, nope, none of this.
Now let's just blame the company instead for my mistake.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You know what? We should.
A big famous example of that is Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64.
Right.
Because Rareware made like the Donkey Kong and Banjo games.
Yeah.
So they do Conker, where it's like it says colorful animal characters, but also he's holding a beer and smoking a cigar on the front cover, and you see the scantily clad rabbit lady or whatever, and it has the M rating label is like 3 times bigger than it usually is, and they have like a disclaimer saying this game is not for kids.
Yeah,
right there on the front.
Yep.
And parents still run it for their kids anyway because they can't read.
They're fucking idiots. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, we did everything to tell you this game is not for children, and you did it anyway.
Right. So I'm going to side with the companies on this one because, yeah, they did everything they're supposed to be doing. The consumers are the ones making the mistake then.
Parents, what are you going to do?
Now, in this case, I am okay with blaming Jack Frost though, because fuck Jack Frost '98.
Jack Frost is boring.
It's a fucking boring movie. I hate it. So
yeah, I'd rather watch the one with the Freddy Krueger snowman.
Oh, dude, Jack Frost '97. If there's anything you guys can take away from this episode, watch Jack Frost '97 and Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer, and completely ignore Jack Frost '98. If we can forget if that movie ever happened, then I'm fine with that.
No balls.
So true. So
just cut it there.
Yeah.
I'm full of Christmas semen.